Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGOD. In today's video, we're going to give you a best class setup for every single weapon currently in Black Ops 4. That's for all 43 weapons. And some of the best class setups actually have multiple class setups. In case I want to include an operator mod or with a suppressor, I'm going to include timestamps for each of those in the description as well in the comment section. If you can do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe so you can find your way back to the channel. Without further ado, enjoy the video. The first class setup we'll go ahead and talk about is the MX9, and I like to run hybrid mags, rapid fire, as well as long barrel and stock. This will add on to that extra strafing speed. You can take advantage of slide canceling with dexterity, and then you're either going to run flak jacket or scavenger with stim, comsec device, or acoustic sensor. It really comes down to preference. I also have a secondary MX9 class setup. As you can see, I went ahead and dropped the stock for the suppressor. Obviously, if you want to get rid of one of the other attachments, you could, if you still wanted to take advantage of that slide canceling. But this is my secondary class setup. I think the MX9 is better without the suppressor. But if you want to go ahead and run the suppressor to stay off the minimap when you are firing your weapon, this is a good way to go. GKS is actually going to have 3 different class setups. The first one being the regular GKS with grip 1, grip 2, and long barrel. You're going to treat this a lot like an ICR with a little bit of added strafe speed, but a little bit less stopping power since it does not have the FMJ attachment. Since this doesn't have the stock, you're going to want to go ahead and go with Gung Ho, since you're not going to really be able to take advantage of the slide canceling technique to break your opponent's aim assist. Then there's also a GKS suppressed. Steel grip, long barrel. If you want to go long barrel too, you could, but then you kind of get rid of 2 of your perks here. So this is the suppressed GKS class setup. Reflex, grip, long barrel, and suppressor, with the same perks that I've already talked about. Then we move on to the GKS operator mod. This is probably the best setup overall if you're looking just to have that melt factor. Even though the GKS has an incredibly long time to kill, it'll pretty much almost always be 2 bursts to kill with this particular class setup. So it'll feel like a Daemon, not quite as fast a fire rate, but it will allow it to compete at some of those closer, medium, and long ranges if you're able to hit your shots. Next up is the Spitfire. There's actually going to be 2 Spitfire class setups. We'll go ahead and take a look at this one. This is the one that I think it'll be a little bit more effective in general. If you go ahead and go with extended mags, fast mags, and then stock, you will be able to have that extra strafing speed and then take advantage of that dexterity perk, which is the slide canceling, which is the main thing you want out of it. Flak jacket and scavenger, because you're definitely going to run out of ammo, even if you run crash, unless you play super passive with the Spitfire. Next up is the Spitfire with the operator mod. And you can see right here, the wildfire operator mod kind of makes it so stock is useless. Just as a heads up, stock is useless when you use this, because when you fire the weapon, you are not really able to strafe. You're going to want the extended mags, the fast mags, so you can get back into those engagements. And you're going to have scavenger, gung ho, as well as dead silence. Next up is the Cordite best class setup. And you can see right here, I'm going to have a couple of these ones. I think grip, rapid fire, as well as long barrel and FMJ. You could go FMJ too if you want to get rid of grip. I think that's personally a waste, but this is pretty much the class setup I would run with a stim shot, comsec, or acoustic, whatever your preference is, along with flak jacket and gung ho. You could also drop the grip for extended mags. That is another good way to go, but going from 60 to 90 could be excessive. It really just depends on your play style and how fast you're going to be taking engagements. Then when it comes to the operator mod on the Cordite, you're going to get the belt feed operator mod, which will increase your magazine capacity up to 600, which basically makes it so you're not going to be able to reload or need to reload, but your weapon will be able to overheat. With this, scavenger doesn't even work, so you're never going to want to run scavenger with that operator mod. So flak jacket is definitely the way to go. Since it doesn't really have that strafing speed you need for that slide cancel, I would go with gung ho and dead silence. That's going to go ahead and bring us to the Saug 9mm, and this one we're going to have pretty much only 1 class setup. I would have gone the dual wield route, but pretty much when you do the dual wield, it pretty much forces your attachment, so you don't really need a best class setup for that one. But I would go with fast mags, quick draw, as well as stock. If you want to go ahead and go a different route, you could drop fast mags and instead run grip if you're having a little bit of trouble with the accuracy. But if you're going to be running and gunning and taking those engagements, fast mags might be the better way to go. You don't really need stock 2 to get that strafe speed mechanic in there, so dexterity and gung ho are great ways to go, along with that flak jacket perk. That moves on to the Daemon 3XB, and typically you're going to want to go with high cal 1, high cal 2, and rapid fire, as well as hybrid mags. You could easily drop hybrid mags and maybe go with the laser sight. Definitely do never touch steady grip. That's a waste of an attachment. And then hybrid mags could be swapped out again with fast mags or even a suppressor. That one really comes down to preference. But these three attachments are the main go-tos you're going to really want to focus on. That's going to bring us to the Switchblade. In this case, I like to go with Rapid Fire 2, as well as hybrid mags. And plenty of people will tell you you don't need Rapid Fire 2, but I'm going to argue otherwise. This basically is the game changer right here. If you take off Rapid Fire 2, this gun basically becomes a Saug with a little bit less handling properties. That's going to bring us to the best class setup for the rifles, and the first one up is the ICR with Reflex, Grip 1, Grip 2, as well as FMJ. And then whatever gear you want, I like to run Flak Jacket, Gung Ho, because you don't need to worry about slide canceling, and Dead Silence because I have that extra perk slot. Next up, the Rampart with the Reflex Sight, High Cal 1, High Cal 2, and FMJ. And I know although FMJ won't really impact gunfights against body armor users, the added wallbang potential is huge. Same perks across the board with whatever piece of gear you would like. KN57, we're going to have two different class setups. We got the hybrid mags, quick draw, rapid fire, and stock. The quick draw is after the huge buff that it got, so this one is actually a huge difference when you equip this over not having it. And then with the two different perks left over, Black Jacket and Dexterity. When we go to the suppressed KN, we got the hybrid mags, stock, rapid fire, and suppressor. And this gun actually behaves very well with the suppressor, so I definitely recommend trying it out with the suppressor if you haven't already. VAPR, we're going to have two class setups as well. Since most people don't like the iron sights, I went ahead and went the Elo sight, rapid fire, stock, and then high caliber. And then you can see the different perks and the stim shot there as well, or whatever piece of gear you'd like. You're going to go ahead and suppress this. You're going to go ahead and drop high caliber, and then you're going to go this route. Some people would go the long barrel route, but once it's got that huge buff to its range, I think that's a little bit unnecessary, even with the suppressor. The Maddox, this one's definitely tried and true. Elo sight, quick draw 1, quick draw 2, as well as stock. So you can do that ADS spam and make sure you stray faster, which gives you an equivalent of stock 2 or 3 or whatever the case you want to call it. And then that goes along with Dexterity, Black Jacket, and Dead Silence. That's going to bring us to the SWAT. The SWAT has Reflex Sight, Extended Mags, or Fast Mags, whatever you prefer, stock, and then long barrel. This is the most important attachment on this weapon. So if you're going to go ahead and choose something to get rid of, definitely leave long barrel on this weapon. It is the game changer as far as time to kill goes. Then we have whatever gear, Black Jacket, Gung Ho, Dead Silence. The Grav. The Grav is one of those weapons that needs a ton of attachments, so you're going to have to drop the optic. If you have a problem with the optics, that's going to be a little bit rough because grip helps a ton. As well as long barrel is the huge attachment as well in this case. And then we have FMJ to wallbang as well as body armor, and then the added strafe. If you did want to have a faster aim down sight, you could drop this for quick draw, and that is another option. Then we have whatever gear, Black Jacket, and Gung Ho. For the Peacekeeper, we're going to go ahead and have hybrid mags, quick draw, stock, as well as rapid fire. And this should be the main go-to since it has clean iron sights, and then the same thing with the perk setup. So now we're on to the tactical rifles, and this is the Auger DMR. I go with the Reflex Sight, High Caliber 1, High Caliber 2, and FMJ for the same reason I talked about with the Rampart, that extra wallbang potential as well as stopping those body armor users. And we got the Black Jacket, Gung Ho, as well as Dead Silence, and whatever piece of gear you'd like to use. With the Operator mod, you kind of got to drop that FMJ, which still makes this a one shot to the chest and above. If you do run into body armor users trying wallbang, going to be a little bit rougher ride, and you're going to have to hit them with 2 bursts. You are heavily punished if you go this route and miss your shots. That's going to bring us to the ABR tactical rifle, and you typically want to go with the Elo sight because the sight is a little bit obstructive when you are aiming down sight. Quick draw, stock, and extended mags, pretty straightforward way to go. You go with the Operator mod, which is actually my preference. You're going to run out of ammo a little bit faster, so you're definitely going to want the extended mags. Stock is still a good way to go with the Elo sight. And then you can see we're running Gung Ho as well as Flak Jacket. Swordfish has 2 different class setups. This is probably the primary way you want to go, just because you're going to have the Reflex Sight, high caliber, so you can get 1 burst kills if you do aim for the head, so you can take people off of head glitches. You're going to have the hybrid mags as well as FMJ. And this again is for body armor users as well as that wallbang potential. You can see the rest of these. I typically go with Gung Ho if slide canceling is not going to be a thing, so you're not going to really run dexterity in that case. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to the Operator mod for this weapon. And right here, you can see we have the reflex sight, high caliber, FMJ, and we ended up dropping the hybrid mags. And the main reason for that is because when you click on the pentaburst attachment, it gives you a little bit of extra ammo, and you're not going to really run out of ammo if you're one bursting people. If you can get consistent one burst kills with the Swordfish, this thing is so broken, but more often than not, you're going to be better off going with the regular Swordfish approach. Right here, we have the Stingray. This one was nerfed heavily, but this one's still pretty viable. I put it right up there in between the Swordfish and the ABR, somewhere around there. It's definitely not as strong as it used to be. The sights aren't as bad. I mean, they do zoom in quite a bit. With the nerfs, you're going to definitely want to make sure you're running long barrel. Got to have hybrid mags, extra strafing speed, as well as a rapid fire, and that leaves you dexterity. More than likely, you're going to want to go gung-ho in this case, and then you're going to have black jacket with whatever piece of gear you want. Right here with the operator mod, again, this one's going to be attachment heavy. You're going to go with the operator mod, stock, as well as long barrel and rapid fire because of that nerf. And this will still be pretty effective, but you're going to have to land your shots to make sure that you actually get those kills. Then you're going to go ahead and run Black Jacket. And that's going to go ahead and bring us to the M16, which I like to run high caliber 2, as well as stock and extended mags. Because if you don't have the extended mags, you're only going to be able to fire 10 bursts, which sounds like a lot. But if you run into multiple people, you're going to want that extra ammo capacity. That's going to go ahead and bring us to the LMGs. And the first one up is the Titan. I have a basic reflex sight with extended mags, quick draw, as well as FMJ. You could always add on stock if you wanted to go ahead and drop a couple perks. But I think overall, this is the best all-around class setup for the Titan if you're just looking to get some kills. If you're looking to shoot down streaks, you could always use the default one that's already built into the class setup menu. You just scroll over and grab that one. For the Hades, we're going to have two different class setups. This is my go-to. If I use the Hades, I'm going to go with reflex sight, hybrid mags, as well as rapid fire and suppressor. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose whatever piece of gear. And these are the 3 perks I'll use. If you are going to go the operator mod route, you can go with the crossbar. You're going to want to still have rapid fire, hybrid mags. You go ahead and drop 2 of these perks. You can add on a laser sight, which will tighten up the spread just a little bit, allow you to be a little bit more accurate. But this is not my go-to class. If I'm going to use the Hades, I'm going to go ahead and use this first one. It's just a matter of preference, since you do get that really nice strafing speed with that operator mod. As far as the VKM goes, you're going to want to run high caliber 1, high caliber 2 with fast mags and quick draw. This is the main go-to class setup. I wish you can actually have rapid fire on there as well, but quick draw helps tremendously, as well as fast mags. And this allows you to choose shot in the chest and above. If you're having a little trouble using the iron sights, I would definitely go ahead and drop one of the perks, maybe flak jacket, and then go ahead and have an optic. It will definitely be attachment heavy, but this is the best class setup for the VKM. I would highly advise not using the fat barrel attachment because it is a complete waste in my opinion. Let's go ahead and move on to the Tigershark, which is a DLC weapon. Right here, I would go with reflex sight, stock, fast mags, as well as FMJ. One thing I do want to point out is high caliber doesn't really help, nor does suppressor, so I would avoid those 2 attachments. Laser sight would be great, as well as grip. Even stock 2 would be pretty cool if you're looking to drop shot, but for the most part, this should be your go-to class setup with this particular weapon. That's going to go ahead and bring us to the snipers, and obviously I'm not a self-proclaimed sniper or anything like that. So these are the class setups that I went with when I was going for dark matter. Obviously, there's way better snipers out there, so if you're looking for some specific class setups, I would definitely check them out. But these are the ones that I would use if I was going for dark matter all over again. So for the Paladin, I would go with high cal 1, high cal 2, as well as stabilizer and sight loader, and then the gear and stim shot. Nothing new as far as the perks go either. So for the Outlaw, I went ahead and equipped an optic when I was going for my challenges for dark matter. I used rapid fire, high caliber, as well as stabilizer. Then you can see the gear and the different perks. SDM is one of those ones you're going to want to make sure you want high caliber because it is a one-shot headshot, especially since you have to go for headshots with this particular camo grind. Then we got the stabilizer, grip, as well as extended mags. You can always swap out stabilizer for grip too if you really have a preference towards that. I would try them both out and just see which one feels better for you as you are unlocking the attachments. Right here again, stim shot, black jacket, gung ho. Obviously with the Koshka, I could have gone all the laser sight route, operator mod, all that stuff, but I think that's more of a gimmicky way to go. I think if you're actually going on the camo grind, I would go with stock, high caliber, fast mags, as well as quick draw with whatever gear you want to use, as well as the perks. As far as the Vendetta goes, we can go with the stock attachment, sight loader, grip, and extended mags. The key with this one is you want to land headshots because headshots count as an instant kill, the same way the Mozu operator mod is with the skull splitter. Then it comes down to whatever gear you want to use as well as whatever perks. For the Locust, it doesn't have high caliber, so it keeps it pretty simple. I went with stock, stabilizer, rapid fire, as well as fast mags. And then you can see right here whatever gear and whatever perks you want to use. So for the Javelina, the main thing you want to do is make sure you have high cal 1, high cal 2, and then you're going to want extended mags and speed loader so you can reload a lot faster and have a little bit of extra ammo in the magazine. And then as far as the gear, again, whatever you want to use, and then flak jacket, gung ho, again for perk 1 and 2. That's going to go ahead and bring us to the pistol category. And the first up is going to be the Strife. I use reflex sight, extended mags, as well as long barrel and FMJ. I think this is just good synergy. You don't really need a ton of attachments, but these are the right attachments for the Strife in my opinion. Obviously, you could use the little stiletto knife, but if you're that close to knife them, you might as well shot punch them. So that's why I think that's kind of a waste of a operator mod if you decide to go that route. And you can see the perks I'm using. Dexterity is huge with pistols because of the slide cancel. So definitely make sure you learn how to do that if you're not taking advantage of the slide cancel with pistols. Strife, you can go ahead and do the same thing. Just drop the optic. If you're going to go the suppressor route, just drop the optic, drop a perk, and you're still going to be able to equip the suppressor while still keeping that FMJ, long barrel, and extended mags. So for the RK7, I run an ELO sight, extended 1, extended 2 with rapid fire. And the primary reason for that is because there's not really any other attachments that stand out. FMJ would have been a great option, but it doesn't exist on the weapon, so that's a little bit unfortunate. And again, we're using dexterity, dead silence, flak jacket, and whatever gear you want to use. For the Mozu, without the operator mod, it's still a good weapon, especially when you equip that high caliber. This does allow you to do increased damage to the head and upper chest, so it'll be 2 shots to the chest and above. So that is definitely a good attachment if you want to go that route. Speed loader is almost mandatory with this weapon, otherwise you're going to get caught reloading almost 100%. Then I go with stabilizer, but you could easily drop stabilizer for stock if you want that extra mobility, or quick draw if you want to be able to aim down sight that much faster. I went ahead and went with gung ho over dexterity because I don't think with the Mozu and an optic, you're typically going to be going for those slide cancels, but it really comes down to preference. And again, dead silence and flak jacket. And then as far as with the operator mod, I went ahead and went the skull splitter, obviously. And then you still want the speed loader, stabilizer, and that compact scope. As far as the perks go, gung ho and flak jacket. Cap 45 is absolutely disgusting with rapid 1, rapid 2, but it does have a significant damage drop off. Unfortunately, it doesn't have long barrel to correct that. You could go high caliber, but I think FMJ is going to allow you to wallbang just that much more effectively and not increase that time to kill if someone's running body armor. And that's pretty much the pistols. And now we'll go ahead and talk about everyone's favorite weapon class, the shotgun. So for this one, we got the Mag 12 with long barrel, barrel choke, rapid fire, and that Dragon's Breath attachment. Gung ho is a good way to go, or you can go with flak jacket. You think you're going to run up to other Mag 12 users to go ahead and counter their fire shotgun. You got the SG12 without the operator mod. We're going to go with extended 1, extended 2, max load, and long barrel. And you're going to use this more like a traditional shotgun, flak jacket, gung ho, and whatever piece of gear you'd like. SG12 with the operator mod, you are going to be aiming down sight a majority of the time. You're not going to really have to worry about laser sight, steady grip, or any of these. Long barrel could be swapped out for max load, but the key is you're going to want to make sure you can just spam that trigger as much as possible. So I'd go with extended 1, extended 2, max load, and then you can go with flak jacket or gung ho since it is a shotgun. As far as Rampage goes, you're going to want hybrid mags, max load, stock. So I think this is the class setup that works the best, especially if you combine this with gung ho, dexterity, and flak jacket. As far as the Argus goes, it's not a great shotgun. It is good, but it's not all that great. It does need a little bit of help. That's why long barrel comes in, rapid fire, as well as fast mags and extended mags. So combining those both, you'll get the extra ammo and be able to reload faster. And then you got flak jacket as well as dexterity. So for the Hellion Salvo, we have fast lock, rocket cache, as well as fast loader and high explosive with stim shot, engineer, so you'll be able to see the streaks to shoot them out of the sky, cold-blooded, as well as dead silence. We also have the combat knife. I do recommend running acoustic sensor in this case. You're going to have flak jacket, tactical mask, lightweight, ghost, as well as dead silence. You could get rid of the combat axe in case you don't really want to worry about that and have another primary weapon, whatever your preference is, because you will have an additional pick 10 slot left over. For the ballistic knives, we're going to run the operator mod with gas powered, extra blades, fast reload, you're going to want to run Scavenger, or else you are going to run out of ammo, whatever piece of gear you'd like to run. For the Reaver crossbow, we're going to go ahead and have stock, extended mags, titanium bolt. Then you're going to load up on Scavenger, Flak Jacket, and Gung Ho. That's pretty much all the weapons. I gave you more than enough class setups for that 1.23 update. I'll update the list if anything changes. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe with notifications on if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.